So, you're probably wondering right now, what am I doing next to this very sacred tree that, by the way, is pointing north? And then also, what am I doing with this huge entire circle around this tree, right next to a binary that represents the hipster of Odin? Well, the thing is, we've been in Hainault country forest for a bit, and we actually got lost looking for a sacred site. We actually found this tree and thought, you know what, this is fine, but in the end we ended up wandering down that way for some strange reason and realized that there is no location down there, going down the wrong place to find this place again. Damn Loki, always trying to fool me when I'm trying to follow Odin. But today what we're doing in this forest is that we're trying to give an offering back to Odin to say thank you for what he has taught me in this July. Now, what I'm going to do is that I've actually made this sacred circle. Now, this sacred circle has been carved around this tree 9 times to represent the 9 realms that Odin wandered through. Now, I don't know them all by name, but I know that we live in one of them, and that is also known as Midgard. So I've already gone round it 3 times with a singing bowl, engulfing the space in noise of the throat chakra. I've used my own body to carve this circle, and I've gone around the tree 9 times. So I have decided that, knowing that this altar is facing true north, and I don't know how I managed to do this, I just followed what was felt good from within, and that is following your intuition, and following your intuition is following Odin. So guys, if you come around here, I'll show you exactly what we're doing. Come around here, trust me, you'll really enjoy it. So as I'm standing here next to my sacred symbol that represents the hipster of Odin, Ansurs being communication and understanding, and Othala of the sacred things of nature. And what I'm doing, I'm facing true north next to this altar. And funny enough, this tree looks like Yggdrasil, as Odin sacrificed himself 9 days and 9 nights. You may have noticed, and I've just noticed it right now since I've just standing here, there is an eye in the tree, one singular eye that looks like the eye of Odin. And just beyond it, just under it, I've created like a formation of sticks. So what I'm about to do is I'm gonna do north, east, south, west on all 4 corners, representing north, east, south, west, doing my whistling. now we've cleansed the space with sound, the shaman rattle. We will now, and at this moment in time, I feel weird. I feel like a meditation calm. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like once I created this circle, and that's using the physical body, I've used a singing bowl to cleanse the area 3 times. That's the throat chakra. And now I've whistled. I feel more in tune with nature. But after rattling this, this attracts the spirits of this land. So now it's being charged. And the reason why it's so quiet is because now the spirits of the land are listening. So come with me and we will give offerings to Odin. So this is what I have created. I've created a small altar space. So obviously there's not a lot of place to do this, but what I wanted to do was create an altar space made of nature. So I've created some sticks and created like this inner circle and cast away the leaves. So I will get muddy in this a little bit. But what the focal point is this chalice. Now, I've said in many videos that I can't drink from this chalice. Only the gods, the spirits, and the ancestors can drink from this. Therefore, I place it next to this statue of Odin. Now, this is my statue of Odin, made by sjchillton, and she made this statue for me and said that it represents strength. So she placed the intention of strength on it. And this is what I use as my portable altar, but also as my home altar statue. And I don't think I'll ever change it because I love how portable it is, and that can just easily go with me everywhere I go, whenever I wander. And it's that version of Odin that's an old man, but is happy to see me, is wise, is a wanderer, but not too much battle, more of just a wandering spirit. And therefore I take Odin with me a lot. We have runes, we have rum, but because I'm on my 30-day challenge, Odin can drink this, but I can't, and that's unfortunate. We've got all kinds of things, but what we're going to be placing down now, this is known as white sage. So this is the white sage that I'm using, hand-rolled Malasa incense sticks. And what I'm about to do is place some of this sage down into this inner sanctum sacred space. And I've been doing this for a while. A lot of these sticks are biodegradable. Once they're lit, and then they just burn out on themselves. They're made of wood. There's no syntheticness to these things. So what I'll do is that I'll put a few down over here, because this is a sacred spot now. So these are white sage, it blesses anything it touches. And the thing is, I've had problems in the past with like matches. I would use matches. It's not the most easiest thing to use in the world. So what I would typically do now is that I typically use this for like rituals or something like this, or if I smoke a cigarette, I use this, and then it's easy to get some sort of light using this. Should be, anyway. Okay, it's not that easy as I thought. So, if you ever seen Constantine, it might be easier to hand a stick like this, light it with respect, and then make an intention, think of it, blow it out, and then it creates like this stick of smoke, and you can easily make a place sacred by holding this sage here, going all over these very sacred items that I have here. Place it within the actual area here, making the area sacred to be a vessel for the gods and for Odin. So now that's been saged. Sage the area of Odin like this. It's more of a controlled version of sage. Sage the runes in which you use and everything that you use for your rituals. This is one way of making the space sacred and creating a sacred vibe. If we're going to have Odin here, we might as well have this place blessed, truly. And then we take this sage stick and place it in the ground, where we let it burn and let it come forward. The same thing I did with last time with the other one. Get the lighter, open up a flame. Once it's lit, it's going to create a big light of flame. Think about the intention you want. I wish for protection. I wish to have a closer bond with Odin in a peaceful way. think of something that you would like to achieve in it without saying it, and then blow it. And then cleanse yourself. Cleanse your aura. Cleanse yourself. If you're going to become before the gods, cleanse your arms and your legs, your face, your spirit, everything in which you are, everything in which you will become. And then place the sage stick down. And then this creates a sacred aroma of the space. And then, already feeling lightheaded already. Whoa, that hurt. So you at home, you can use Jamie's hand as the cameraman. Hold this, my friends. The bestest thing I can say of, think of something you wish to have in your life. Look at this flame and think about that intention, and just close your eyes and think, what would I like to achieve in my life? Are you ready to blow? Blow your intention, my friend. Once that intention is done, I can easily bless you like this. Cleansing you and blessing you, the white sage. So right now I am just blessing a camera, but I hope you on the other end can feel this and that kind of energy. And I might even bless my friend. Why not? Here's the cameraman, he is holding you right now, so why not? And then I place this white sage of protection of the gods at the end of my binary, to represent all of you guys at home who watch my videos. And this represents past and my present and the future. Well, the present moment is the hipster of Odin, and that there is the past and the future, representing the three norms of past, present, and future. Freya, Njord, or Freya, Jord, and Frigga, the goddesses, the norms, the spirits. So now we have created ourselves sacred and have blessed ourselves in some way, and we've marked the space as sacred. We put the lighter away because we don't want to be filthy or horrible with lighters and flame and burn the whole forest down. No, we don't want to do that. Unless, don't get any silly ideas. So we come towards this sacred altar and we come with reflection. So I've come forward here to Odin. And in some way, instead of just holding my hat on all the time, I'll take my hat off out of respect to the Allfather. Only makes sense. I've been wearing this all day and I'm sweaty as hell, and I don't even put gel in my hair, unfortunately. So I'm a mess. I'm mad. But on this day, I say these words to the Allfather Odin. And I'll probably sit down or crouch or kneel or whatever I'm doing right now. I'm squatting. So I'll just get this bag. It seems fairly easy enough to just sit on the bag. And I simply sit and talk in reflection of the gods. Sit here in contemplation of everything we've done, everything we've attained. So Odin, All-Father of all the gods, I have come here to you with my best friend Jamie being the cameraman to say thank you, All-Father. We've come here on a journey to hike in this new forest of Hainault forest. We could have gone anywhere, but we decided to come here to find you and to give our respect to you. We found this tree because we thought, you know what, it looks like Yggdrasil. So I cast the sacred circle to represent the 9 realms that you once wandered. I've ignited the space with the norns of past, present and future and ask to see you now. Odin All-Father, I thank you for your presence, your gratitude and your patience. Thank you, All-Father, for all the things that I have learned from you. I wish to give you a worthy offering and a grand offering of this Captain Morgan's original Spice Gold rum, Caribbean rum. And personally, I took this from my alcohol collection because at this moment I can't drink. And that sucks. I wish I could. But I thought to myself, what offering could I give to you that I personally enjoy? And I liked having a spice rum and coke sometimes. And I thought to myself, I want to give some of this to you, All-Father, as a way of saying thank you for everything I've learned. So, All-Father, wisest of all the gods, please accept this offering of rum. And for me, all I do is I just get to sniff it. It sucks, but it's worth it at the end. Odin, All-Father, wisest of all the gods, victor of the slain, you are wise amongst any of the gods, or any person, or any creature that lives within the 9 realms. I want to say thank you for everything that I've learned from you. At this moment of July, I've experienced great amounts of anxiety, great amounts that I could not control. Thank you for reminding me to reserve and come back to my own wisdom and understanding, to communicate to myself more often, and find my own wisdom in my own storms and battles of life. It hasn't always been easy. It's been tough. It's been hard. There's been hardship. You know, I've made friends and I've lost friends. And when I've lost them friends, I realized I deciphered what's the difference between a friend and a colleague. And I realized to keep the small amount of friends that I do have closest, because those are my true friends. Those are friends that I can open up with at any given moment in time. Those are friends who are worthy of my time and my patience. And even though I have only a few friends, I would prefer having a few friends that are loyal and true than friends who make up the crowd. You know, I saw a big analogy the other day. What's the difference between a pound and a 50p? A 50p may be smaller. No, a 50p may be bigger. However, its value is much less. And a pound might be much smaller. However, is actually worth a lot more. And I realized to keep my crowd small and my friends small and enjoy those friends and have good quality of friends. It's not about how many friends you have, it's about the quality of friends you have. So for All-Father Odin, the last time I communicated to you is that I communicated using the runes, and the runes come forward with Hagalaz, Laugus, and Ansels. So I would like to do a rune cast session again to talk to you and to also speak to you using these runes. These runes here are the runes that represent the runes that I like using at this moment in time, because it's a big old bag of runes. But these runes were actually created and designed by someone called Northern Black, or also known as Isaac Oakmond, and his wife. And they designed these runes in a company known as Northern Black. And I like them because they're like little green crystals, but these little green crystals have a lot more significance because it's in this big bag and you stick your hand in, feel the runes around. So what I'm about to do, I'm going to shake these runes up. I'm not entirely aware of what runes I might cast forward. And I will communicate to you, All-Father. One rune I will take out this bag will represent my past, or this month, or what would you like to communicate with me? What is the first rune of communication in this moment in time that I need to work on and I need to know? Now I'm sloshing the runes around. I'm not even looking at the bag. I'm just looking at Odin. Breathing in the sage, trying to feel for a rune. Kenaz is the first rune. This is interesting. So I'll place the first rune down inside my singing bowl. Now, we'll feel around for another rune. Sloshing around, not looking at the runes. They're all mixed up in my hand. all the rune. Tiwaz is the next rune. Masculine drive. Interesting. So Kenaz and Tiwaz. A little bit different from the Hagalaz that we saw last time. Now I take a third rune. Nuthras. This is Nuthras. So, the runes that have been gathered here is Kenaz, Tiwaz and Nuthras. If I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure about Kenaz, so I will probably read a rune book and try and decipher what this means. But Tiwaz represents masculine drive, and Nuthras, funny enough, does not represent chaos as much as I thought it did, but Nuthras actually represents a great restraint. So the two end ones is, I don't know, like a masculine drive of great restraint. Maybe that's what's coming up in August. The drive to have restraint and to save things. I can understand that. But I'll go back home and see what Kenaz truly means. So then what I typically do is that I will take these runes and I will say thank you to the All-Father and bless these with white sage, with the past and the future, the masculine and the feminine, the positive and the negative. Odin, thank you for your wisdom and your communication through these runes. I understand 2 of these runes, but when I go home, I will research these runes as best as I can and try and understand what they mean a lot more deeper than I already know. By understanding these, by reading books and learning more, I follow the wanderer's path of wisdom and knowledge. So I take them to my head and I think and I say, thank you, Odin, for your strength and your wisdom. I say it in my own head. And I bring them down to my heart, and I look up to the tree, Yggdrasil, and bring down my head in gratitude, thanking Odin for the communication that he has given me. And I say as a whisper, thank you, All-Father. Skull. And then I place the runes back in the bag. And then what I would typically do is get this sage stick, if I can, and to bless the runes, I place this inside the bag, lock it for a few moments. There's sage in there. Unless I burn the bag, hopefully not. Hold the sage over the runes, open it, and now they have been blessed with sacred sage, which is a blessing. So now what I do is that I close the space and I say thank you to the All-Father Odin. So I say, All-Father Odin, thank you for your communication and your understanding. Thank you for the wisdom that you have displayed in the runes of your sacred words. Thank you for all that you have taught me with these runes, because I know that they are the bestest way of communicating to you. You sacrifice yourself 9 days and 9 nights to learn the wisdom of the runes. The runes have given me clarity of mind when I'm having anxiety. Any questions that I have been communicated through the runes. And I want to say thank you so much for just simply communicating to me through these runes. It's a great insight and a wisdom that outdates anything that I know, of course. So All-Father Odin, thank you. Skull. Odin All-Father, you may go back to whatever you were doing before you grace me with your victorious and magnificent knowledge of wisdom and power. Thank you, All-Father, for taking the time to listen to me and just hearing what I have to say. All I ever want to say is thank you. Thank you for giving me your adversity. Thank you for giving me your madness.
Thank you for giving me clarity of dreams to understand this madness and understand this adversity, because it has made me stronger. So if there's anything I wish to say to you, All Father, is how I am grateful and I am humbled to take the harsher journey sometimes. Most of the time I wish to have peace, but most of the time I just want to say thank you. That I don't actually need anything as such, but I just want to tell you all that I have learned so far. And if that makes me a wandering spirit so far, then thank you. So then I close also by singing. This is a singing bowl, and I close the space by playing the singing bowl. It's all good.